He said, when you see him, meaning the Mahdi, then pledge your allegiance to him, even if you have to crawl over the snow. If the Mahdi is out, your number one task is to pledge allegiance to the Mahdi. And you have to crawl over the snow. How will I know it's the Mahdi? Like I just saw a crowd and they said that's the Mahdi. So do I go examine him, check out his nose, ask him his name, show me proof that you're... You go up to him, I need to see some ID, sir. How do I know you go back to Al-Hasan? Excuse me. The way we know, it's like this. It's when you know, you know. Meaning when he comes out, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make the entire ummah accept him instantly. So that's why, going back to the Mahdi that I met, who lives in Florida, for 15 years he's arguing and debating with people that he's the Mahdi. Nobody has accepted him. He said he had 15 followers. And you don't want to meet those guys. Like, if he could convince them, like, I don't even want to meet those guys. But the point is that he's struggling to get people to believe, whereas the Mahdi, everybody instantly knows it, right? And he has acceptance in large numbers. Okay, so going back to the hadith, we're saying before his time, the Prophet ﷺ said, 3 will fight one another for your treasure. Or another narration mentions the treasures of the Kaaba. So 3 sons of a Khalifa will, so that means 1, there will be a Khalifa and a Khilafah. And the scholars also mention that clearly he will be strong because Bayt al-Maqdis will be under the control of the Muslims. We know it's not under our control today. It will be under the control of the Muslims. The Masjid al-Aqsa will be under the Muslims' control. Because the Mahdi casually prays there. When he emerges, he will pray at Bayt al-Maqdis, not free Bayt al-Maqdis. That's why some people tell you, we're waiting for the Mahdi because the Mahdi will free al-Aqsa al-Sharif. No, he won't. Okay? No, nothing said that the Mahdi will free al-Aqsa. You free al-Aqsa. You know what I'm saying? Meaning, it creates this laziness in people when there's nothing I can do because the Mahdi will free al-Aqsa, so what can I do for al-Aqsa? I have to just sit and wait till the Mahdi comes. So we watch movies and play video games and drink tea until the Mahdi shows up and does the work. No, it doesn't say that. It says the Mahdi prays in al-Aqsa. That means somebody already freed it. Could be under this Khalifa who clearly has some strength. And what's interesting is if you look at the story of the Mahdi, in it is a lesson for you. The Mahdi doesn't, he knows that he can't kill the Dajjal and only Isa ibn Maryam can kill the Dajjal. We're going to talk about that later. But he doesn't just sit and wait for Isa ibn Maryam to come and kill the Dajjal. He puts together an army and fights against him day 1, and then he's ready to fight day 2, and then Isa a.s. descends. So the Mahdi didn't wait for Isa to do work. You don't wait for the Mahdi to do your work. But the idea that the Mahdi frees Palestine is not correct. It will be freed before he comes. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam. And we don't know like how much before, is it soon, should we make dua that we see it freed? Allahu a'lam. I mean, yeah, we can make dua to see it free. But I mean, not that you make dua to live until the time of the Mahdi and the Dajjal. And what do you want to deal with that stuff for? Just, it's better to die before that happens. Anyways, the point is, we see that it's a good Khalifa. So one narration mentions that 3 sons of a Khalifa will fight like a civil war, the likes of which the Ummah has never seen. And they're fighting over the treasures of the Kaaba. So what does it mean, the treasures of the Kaaba? Are there treasures buried? Is there gold buried under the Kaaba now? Or in the future, will someone bury gold under the Kaaba, like it'll be a known thing where they put this many tons of gold under the Kaaba and what have you? Or in a way, so that's, the scholar said, 1, that it could be that in the future they might put some gold under the Kaaba, or somebody thinks for some reason there's gold under the Kaaba. But others said, the treasures of the Kaaba, the Khalifa, whoever is in charge, the ruler, he controls the Kaaba, right? And he also controls the treasures, meaning the zakah, the wealth that comes in. So that's, in their explanation, what it means, the treasures of the Kaaba. Wallahu a'lam, but it's very plausible, it makes sense. Alright, so we see that this is, towards the end of time, after this civil war, the Prophet said, the likes of which the Ummah has never seen. And we also see that the Mahdi is not specifically in the times that we're living in right now. It is true, and we said this multiple times, that the world that we live in right now can change very much in 10 years if certain things happen It's very dramatic things on a global scale. If they happen, in 10 years the world will look very, very different. But right now, the ummah being, broken up into these different nations and republics and states and all that, no sign of a Khalifa in sight, and it's not Mahdi world right now. It could happen in our lifetime, maybe quite unlikely. Allahu Alam. The point is, nobody can. These are issues of the unseen. Anyone tries to act smart and tell you according to calculations, tell them go back to the old drawing board and calculate all over again. Anyways, and then we also, and it also mentions the bows and arrows, and we explained that we don't necessarily have to regress back, to bows and arrows. Anyways, then the Mahdi, we said, he will fill the earth with justice as it was filled before him with injustice. And there's one hadith that says he will resemble the Prophet ﷺ. He will have the name of the Prophet ﷺ and resemble him in manners, but not in looks. He will resemble the Prophet ﷺ in manners, but he won't look like the Prophet ﷺ. And the hadith that mentions that he will be from, this one specifically has he has a missing link. Basically, it is the slightest type of weak hadith. Basically, this one that I mentioned. Okay, and it's Ibn Qayyim who mentioned that he'll be from the offspring of Al-Hasan and the wisdom behind that. He mentioned that. Allah subhanahu or Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will rectify him in one night. يُصْلِحُ اللَّهُ فِي لَيْلَةٍ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will rectify him overnight. Some scholars said that means he will repent overnight, and his repentance, Ibn Kathir says that's his opinion, that he will repent overnight. Others said that Allah will make him righteous instantly. So he's just a normal person. Maybe he prays, maybe he doesn't pray. The point is, he's under the radar. Nobody knows him. Nobody sees him when he's 14 in tahfidh class and sees excellent manners and says, that boy Muhammad ibn Abdullah, that boy might be the Mahdi. He's an amazing kid. Nobody knows him. He slides under the radar, and then overnight, Allah rectifies him. Does that mean he repents overnight, or he just becomes a righteous person overnight? Does that mean also that he was not a good person, he wasn't praying, he was doing haram before that? Some scholars say no, it doesn't necessarily mean that. He is not known, and then he becomes the best person in the ummah overnight. Okay, so we've got a good number of the descriptions of the Mahdi so far. He will emerge from the east, and his initial supporters will also be from the east. He will arrive in Mecca, and the people will give him the pledge, the bay'ah, the pledge of allegiance, and he will refuse it. Alright? We're going to get to another hadith that tells us exactly where they give him the pledge, between the maqam and the rukn, the corner, and the maqam of Ibrahim. That's exactly where it is. But what's interesting, he will refuse the bay'ah. He will refuse. He doesn't want the responsibility, the scholars say. But that's why when you see someone asking you to pledge to him as the Mahdi, or asking you to follow them, or believe in them, or on all these channels, what have you, then they're already disqualified, because you don't match the description of the Mahdi. First of all, we're not between the Rukn and Maqam, we're not even in Mecca. And two, you have to not want it.